There's that saying, right? How do you make the gods laugh? Make a plan. Keep your expectations low. Don't get too committed to one particular thing. If you buy Bitcoin with no leverage, people are like, well, is it going to dump the thing? Well, I'm not buying it with 50x leverage or 100x leverage. If you buy it with 100x leverage and it goes down $200, you're getting wiped out, That's a problem. How about if you buy it with no leverage?
When you go down the rabbit hole and you come back up to normal life, what was at the depth of the rabbit hole?
Immortal life. I see Bitcoin and a crypto network as the mechanism for all of us to achieve, if not immortality of our own lives, then immortality of our values and our will.
Bitcoin is currently going through the harshest correction since the beginning of this bull run, and everyone is losing their mind. Here's some wise words from Michael Saylor that I think are needed for the people freaking out, and especially if you are newer to the cryptocurrency scene. Remember the saying, how do you make the gods laugh? Make a plan. Welcome to cryptocurrency. Also, a growing number of crypto investors are subscribing to the channel. If you enjoy the video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video.
There's that saying, right? How do you make the gods laugh? Make a plan. Right. Best to keep your expectations low. Don't get too committed to one particular thing. If you buy Bitcoin with no leverage, people are like, well, is it going to dump the thing? Well, I'm not buying it with 50x leverage or 100x leverage. If you buy it with 100x leverage and it goes down $200, you're getting wiped out, That's a problem. How about if you buy with no leverage? When you buy with no leverage and when it goes down by 90%, you're just sitting around asking yourself, is this the time to buy with whatever else I've got left? And when it gets down to 95%, you're like, well, maybe is this the point for me to go all in, right? So if you take a long view and you're, strong hands, that meme really just refers to take a long view. Don't leverage yourself too much. By the way, the sad fact of the matter is a lot of people that dump this stuff, they don't dump it because they got leverage. They dump it because intellectually they fell in love with this low volatility future. It's like they're thinking that they've got a stop loss 5% below the market. It's like creating, plans are like putting in stop loss orders. It's like, did you ever put a stop loss order on your daughter, your son? Like, would you put a stop loss order on something you loved? I don't think so, right? So in this particular case, my view is it's Bitcoin. Do I have a better option in the world? No. Would you do it if you knew it was going to work out badly? Yeah. Right? Would you do the right thing even if you knew you were going to suffer for it one day in the distant future? Yeah, I think so. Right? What's my option? To do the wrong thing? So I don't know what'll happen. I'm not terribly concerned about it because as far as I can see, it's the only obvious choice. If you're a technologist, make a list of all of the dominant technology networks that are going to change the world that are exploding in front of our face today, this year. My list has one thing on it. Okay? If you're a technologist, it's the one thing and everything else is not so compelling. If you're an idealist, make a list of something which has a chance to make the world a better place over the course of the next decade. Work your way down that list. What's at the top of your list? I got one thing at the top of my list.
Me too, brother. Now,
there's some uncertainty there, right? They say that successful people are optimists, and I believe it. And if you look on crypto Twitter, it's like you put something out there and you get 8,000 likes or 4,000 likes, and then you get 12 people, that will call you stupid because there's a shit coin that does something better that's more quantum ray gun, immune or something. And you got to stop yourself Because first of all, only 1% of the people on Twitter are posting that kind of stuff. And so if you're reacting to the people that are tagging you with that, you're reacting to the 1% that are most pessimistic, cynical, snarky, conflicted, whatever. And so that's one reason not to react to it. But the other reason, the other point is that all those people that have all that negative energy, it's debilitating to them. They, it's like, I won't cross the street. I might get hit by a car. I can't buy that because a quantum computer might break it. I can't do that because someone might do this. I can't do that because I can think of 1/1000th of a situation in the distant future where it might hypothetically cause you to incur some legal liability that you might hypothetically suffer for. It's like just so much negativity, and you just shouldn't dwell on it. So when I forecast out, I'm like, there's going to be volatility. Bad things going to happen. I don't know what they are. It doesn't really matter. Make your decision. I made my decision. Make yours. We need to move forward. I'm not going to freeze to death. I'm not going to cower in my basement. I'm not going to engage in behavior which is obviously morally hazardous to my health, right? I just rather have the uncertainty of the other thing.
Yeah, totally agree. And you make reference to Twitter trolls, and it seems like a bit of a secret. Because on the surface, like if you just first came into Twitter and you were engaging in Bitcoin Twitter and you see all these, revved up cyber hornets all over the place. And if you happen to mention quad 4 grapes and shit or gold or whatever, they're just going to go after you. And sometimes they take heat for being, toxic and mean and nasty. And that's the secret, because you pierce that very thin veneer of, this rightly protective attitude towards this thing that we're all, dancing around, and this intellectual pursuit and this rabbit hole that we're all in, and rightly protective of that. I really, I'm a cyber hornet with the best of them on that regard. But when you connect with these people one-on-one, I know you've had the opportunity to do that a bunch in the last few months. And I've done it a ton over the last year or so. And like I said to you at the beginning, all sorts of people, the well-known people and the people with 50 followers on Twitter, I'm blown away at the quality and goodness of the people that I'm engaging with in this space. I mean, like we said, I think it's partially a self-selecting sort of bias. You get into this for maybe have a pre-existing orientation, but as we were talking about, how does Bitcoin impact that orientation? How does it kind of align or change your moral orientation? And I love everything about this space, but having the opportunity to connect with good people that, as you just articulated, they are the ones that will make the morally right decision, even if it means a more difficult, more challenging path.
My criticism of the trolls is not the hornets. I think you should.
Oh, I know that.
If you're on the side of good and you're being constructive, I think you should be passionate and you should defend that really hard. My criticism,
I know what you mean.
Is for people that are just so negative that they want to tear down something constructive just because they want to engage in sophistry.
Yeah.
Over hypotheticals.
And hornets are the opposite. I mean, there's, as you said at the very beginning, why were this hornets so supportive of putting this together? It's because they're just so damn supportive. If you're one of them, right? If you see things a similar way. And on that point, the last two questions I have for you is from the hornets. So, Of course, a bunch of them hit me up and they were saying, can you ask Mike a couple of different things? And I think we touched on a lot of them, so I'm not going to go through them all. But one of my favorite people in the space on Twitter, his name is Gigi. He's a writer. He works at Swan Bitcoin as well, and he's recently been highlighted in 21ism, which is a art collective that launched yesterday, the 5th. Yeah, yesterday. Looking at authors and other artists and meme artists in the space and just interviewing them, showcasing their work. Just a really cool initiative. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to.
And I see his work all the time, and I think it's great.
Yeah,
he's really amazing. One of the shining lights of the entire Bitcoin community. Yeah,
and he's a phenomenal guy. Good friend. So he asked somewhat, it's a difficult question, but he is himself very deep down the rabbit hole, and we've had some really great offline discussions about, the more esoteric aspects of hanging around down there. And he kind of jokingly asked me to ask you, when Mike, kind of reached the end of the rabbit hole, or at its current depth, what does he see? When you go down the rabbit hole and you come back up to normal life, what was at the depth of the rabbit hole?
Immortal life. That's what I see. What I see Bitcoin and a crypto network as the mechanism for all of us to achieve, if not immortality of our own lives, then immortality of our values and our will.
I love that.
That's what I see.